In sports, there are names that just scream greatness. But then there's one name that, well, it stands for something that feels downright impossible: Sir Don Bradman. His story isn't just about cricket. It's about a level of dominance that's so extreme, it basically rewrites what we think is humanly possible. And it all boils down to one single, unbelievable number. And this is it: 99.94. That was Don Bradman's career batting average in Test cricket. Now look, if you don't follow the sport, let me put this in perspective for you. An average of 50 is considered the mark of a truly great batsman. An average over 60 is legendary. An average of 99.94 is basically a glitch in the matrix. It's the central mystery we're going to unpack today. So you have to ask, right? Is this 99.94 just a cricket record, or is it maybe the single greatest statistical achievement in the entire history of sports? The data? Well, it kind of suggests it's the latter. Bradman wasn't just a little better than his competition, he was an outlier so far off the charts that he's in a category all by himself. And this chart, wow, it really paints a picture, doesn't it? Bradman isn't just a step ahead of the next best guys, who, by the way, are total legends. No, he's on a completely different planet. To put it another way, the gap between Bradman and number 2 is bigger than the gap between number 2 and number 10. It's like he's standing on top of Mount Everest, and everyone else is just getting their gear ready at base camp. Okay, so to really get your head around how wild this number is, let's try to translate it into other sports. For a baseball player to be as dominant, they'd need a career batting average of .392. The modern record is .366. For a basketball player, they would need to average 43 points per game for their entire career. Michael Jordan averaged 30.1. See what I mean? This isn't just a record, it's a complete statistical anomaly. So the question is, how on earth does something like this happen? How do you create a talent that just breaks all the rules? Well, for Bradman, the whole story starts out in the Australian bush with this really unique kind of strange solitary training routine. Yeah, forget about all the fancy coaching and high-tech equipment we see today. As a kid, Bradman's whole setup was a golf ball, a skinny cricket stump, and the curved brick base of a water tank. He just hit the ball against the tank for hours. The tiny ball, the narrow bat, and the unpredictable bounce, it just sharpened his reflexes and his hand-eye coordination to a level that was almost superhuman. And believe me, that crazy practice method, it paid off, and fast. I mean, ridiculously fast. In 1925, he's just playing for his little local town. 2 years later, he scores a century in his very first big-time match. And just 1 year after that, he's playing for Australia at only 20 years old. His rise wasn't just quick, it was basically vertical. But, when you're that good, when you're that much better than everyone else, you don't just get fans, you get a massive target painted on your back. Bradman became so unstoppable that the opposition, England, literally invented a brand new, brutal tactic just to try and stop him. It was called bodyline. And the plan was as simple as it was violent. Just have your fastest bowlers hurl that hard leather ball, not at the wickets, but straight at the batsman's body. The goal was pure physical intimidation. Either hurt him or make him so scared he'd get himself out. It was a plan designed to neutralize one single person, Don Bradman. And if you want to understand the sheer panic that led to bodyline, just listen to this quote from a London newspaper at the time. "It is almost time to request a legal limit on the number of runs Bradman should be allowed to make." I mean, think about that language. Request a legal limit. They're not talking about a person. They're talking about a force of nature they can't control. And you know what? At first, that insane pressure, it actually worked. He comes back to the team, the whole world is watching, and on his very first ball of the series, he's out for 0, a first ball duck. The entire stadium just went silent. The unthinkable had happened. But this is where the legend is really forged. His very next time up to bat, under all that pressure, he figured it out. He changed his entire style, played shots no one had seen before, and scored an incredible, defiant century. While bodyline did bring his average for the series down to only 56.57, which is still world-class, by the way, he proved he couldn't be broken. He had survived the one thing designed to completely destroy him. Okay, so fast forward a few years. The Second World War's over, and a much older, 40-year-old Don Bradman comes back for one last go at it in England. This was his final chapter, And this time, he wasn't just the star player. He was the captain of a team that would go down in history. And the team he led, they became known as the Invincibles. And for good reason. On a grueling months-long tour, Bradman's team played 34 matches and did not lose a single one. It had never been done before, and it's never been done since. He cemented his legacy not just as a player, but as an incredible leader. And what about Bradman himself? At 40 years old, were there any doubts he still had it? Oh yeah, he absolutely demolished those doubts. He was the best batsman on the whole tour, scoring over 2,400 runs with an insane 11 centuries. The Don was still the Don. Which brings us right to the very end, the final act of his career where the whole story comes back to where we started, with a number. But this time, it's a story about being almost perfect, a little moment of being human that somehow made the legend even bigger. So, picture this. It's 1948, the Oval in London. It is his last ever appearance in Test cricket. The entire crowd is on its feet, giving him this massive ovation. But the stakes, it turned out, were even higher than they knew. All he needed was just 4 runs. That's it. One good hit to the boundary, and he would finish his career with a batting average of a perfect, flawless 100.0. It would have been the ultimate symbol of perfection, the final coronation of a sporting god. And what did he get? 0. Bowled out on his second ball, gone. And just like that, the dream of a perfect 100 vanished, and in its place, that beautifully imperfect, unforgettable, and somehow even more iconic number was locked in forever, 99.94. But look, in the grand scheme of things, that final duck meant almost nothing. His records are they're staggering. He scored a century in more than a third of the times he went out to bat. He still holds the records for the most double centuries and the most runs ever scored in a single series. His numbers are, simply put, unbreakable. The numbers are one thing. They prove he was a master on the field. But what is it that takes an athlete from being a legend in their sport to a true global icon? What makes a legacy that big? Well, I think the answer might be right here. When Nelson Mandela was finally released after 27 years in prison, one of the very first things he asked an Australian visitor was not about politics or the state of the world. It was, is Sir Donald Bradman still alive? For Mandela and for millions of others, Bradman stood for more than just a game. He was a symbol of enduring, timeless excellence, a story and a number that will last forever.